15th.
And
Same.
we're live.
Greetings. Happy Friday, ladies and gentlemen. You know who we are. We are FPS Guides. Our goal is to bring the gaming community together with reviews, guides, news, and clutch plays. This is our weekly podcast where we bring the latest in news, rumors, controversies, and discussions. Here you'll find some facts, some opinions, and a lot of really dumb jokes. If you like what we do here, be sure to check us out on fpsguides.com and follow us on social media. We are a small but growing gaming community comprised of people both young and old who are just passionate about gaming. If you are interested in becoming a part of the FPS Guides community or perhaps becoming a content creator, hit us up on our website. We'd love to hear from you. Don't forget to join our Discords. Follow us on all the Twitch and YouTube and all that good stuff. Anyways, let's go ahead and jump right in. What have you guys been playing this week?
I've been playing
Besides
Kingdom Hearts 3.
Okay.
I've been playing Apex Legends, which we'll talk about a little later.
That's cool. I played that too, yeah.
And I played the DMC5 demo last night. And we'll talk about that later.
Lit.
That's what I played. What about you guys?
How about you?
I'll go last.
Are you go last? All right. Let's see. Well, I also played the Apex Legends. I played Apex Legends for a little bit. It was really cool. I liked it. I guess we're talking more about that later.
Yeah. Well, for the viewers that
first
don't, I'm sure a lot of people
don't know what it
don't
is.
know because it came out of nowhere. That game literally came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
They kept it mum. They really kept it hush hush, and then they just dropped it. Boom, and then it had like, was it 3 million or 8 million?
8 million
players in like
unique
one day.
players.
It was crazy. So. Give the viewers a little bit of a context.
We'll talk about that in our headliner. That's like...
Oh, it is the headliner?
Literally the headliner, yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's going to be like the first thing we talk about.
Oh, nice.
After we do this little intro. So after playing Apex, I actually downloaded a game called Insurgency Sandstorm. If you like first-person shooters and military simulator-style games, I highly recommend Insurgency Sandstorm. It is super cool. It's like...
What differentiates it?
It's a lot more realistic than any other first-person shooter I've played, and kind of along the lines of how Arma is. But Arma is also really difficult to get into. Like it's a large learning curve to get into Arma.
Okay.
While they really kind of dumbed down Insurgency Sandstorm a lot, so that it's more easily accessible for like anybody who's had experience in basically any other first-person shooter.
Okay.
But it's like a super cool. It's very realistic. Like it takes like 2-3 shots to kill somebody. Like this is like real life. There's no kill cam. There's no kill feed. Like in order to convey to your teammates that you killed a guy, you actually have to go onto team chat and tell them. And even the team chat is cool, like the push to talk feature. Because when you talk over team chat, it comes up as a radio.
Oh,
like,
okay, that's cool.
There's like the whole the scratching and the beeping of like a radio.
That's really cool.
And actually, when you're near each other when you're near each other in the game, you're not on radio. You hear their like voice and stuff like that. You can hear other players like that too, like enemy players.
Oh, so if you're communicating just face to face, it'll be a normal talking voice.
If you're like within a certain proximity,
simulate that radio. That's cool.
But anybody
really
who's
cool.
not within proximity to you, it shows up to them as like a radio. There are like classes, like rifleman, sniper, gunner, shotgun guy, all that stuff. But there are also like interesting classes like the commander and the observer. Like the commander can call in or can basically what would be the word to permit like an airstrike, like because the commander has to be there to give permission to call in like a helicopter or like an airstrike, and then the observer using like his binoculars and stuff, he actually like radios in to command, be like command, we need a bombing run at site Delta. And
cool.
It's super cool. It's super tactical, and I highly recommend it. It's actually on sale right now with the Lunar Sale. I think it's like 25.
Oh, nice.
It was originally like $30. I think it's around 25 right now. But super dope. I highly recommend it. It's really fun to play.
Is it a sequel to Insurgency?
It is kind of like a sequel to Insurgency.
It's not a DLC, right? It's a different game.
It's a whole standalone game. It's basically they took because Insurgency, for all intents and purposes, is almost like a mod.
Yeah.
And it handled like a mod. It looked like a mod. It wasn't very like polished or refined, and the controls are kind of wonky and clunky. But Insurgency Sandstorm really just like refines all the mechanics and makes it like a really good first-person shooter.
Does it feel good?
It feels really good. The flow is really good. Like
nice.
The sounds, like I think somebody told me, I haven't verified it, but I think someone like the developers of Insurgency Sandstorm like won an award because of the sounds in the game, because it literally sounds like freaking Black Hawk Down, dude. It's so insane.
Whoa.
Like
that's awesome. So it's a buy at $25. You definitely recommend
$25.
Buy badge.
I would totally recommend it. I would give that a buy badge if you're into like military simulators or first-person shooters and you want something like challenging and not like Call of Duty where it's basically just like run around with like a shotgun and like a knife and like 360 no scope people or some ridiculous bullshit like that. This is pretty hardcore. You need to communicate. You need to work together, and
so it's definitely not for.
It's not for the casual FPS player.
Yeah.
It's for the FPS player who's looking for like something a little bit more tactical.
Okay.
Like you really need teammates. You really need to work together, or you're screwed. And so, highly recommend that game. It was super cool. I played it for a couple of hours.
Are you gonna keep playing it?
Oh yeah, definitely. Okay. I have like 4 or 5 people actually that play it, and 6 man is a squad.
Oh, nice.
And so we almost have like a full squad just for us, and we've been playing it. It's awesome. I've been playing the. There's actually a guy who's like, it's called the. No, not the specialist. He basically he's the guy who facilitates relationships with locals in the area.
He's like the liaison.
Yeah, he's like the liaison between like the
he's
military.
The Army Ranger.
Kinda. He kind of facilitates communication with the locals and stuff like that. But because of that, he has access to a lot more exotic weapons, because every class has their own kind of weapons.
That's cool.
That they're like the close quarters guy, he has like submachine guns and shotguns, and so this guy, he has like interesting weapons like like a Scar or like the Dragunov or something like that.
So you did play the first one, right?
I played the first one for a little bit.
This one's takes it to another level.
This one is so much better. The first one I kind of fell off of it because it just felt super clunky and I just couldn't really get into it.
Gotcha.
But this one is so smooth. It's like butter.
Okay.
And I highly recommend it.
Nice.
That's a buy. That is a buy right there.
Nice.
Nice.
And then besides that, I'm playing a little bit of Overwatch, a little bit of Apex,
Like
a little bit of CS:GO.
The things that are just kind of like, I'll jump in for a little bit.
Yeah, just kind of some of the multiplayer games I have right now because I'm kind of waiting for Metro to come out.
Oh yeah.
So
next week,
a week from today.
We'll have it here, showing you in a case.
When
I will be buying.
When I get it next week, I'll probably jumping more into like a more consistent like single player game.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
What about you, Sig? What have you been playing?
I only played one game this week, Sea of Thieves.
Okay. That's on the up and up right now.
Good time. Good time.
I've been reading about it. It's blowing up my Reddit feed. It's all over the news, and it was a few weeks ago we mentioned it on the podcast that it overtook Fortnite for the number of streamers that were streaming it.
Mm-hmm.
So I was definitely intrigued, and having Xbox Game Pass
on PC, which is like the best thing ever.
Having Xbox Game Pass allowed me to also install the game without charge on my PC.
Mm-hmm.
So I played a little bit this week.
Solo with people.
I'm glad you asked. I don't like tutorials.
Mm-hmm.
My attention span. I can easily get disinterested. So I kind of skipped right into it, and I like how that's a pro for the game. They give you as much hand holding as you want or don't want.
Okay.
And I went there a little bit too.
You were overzealous, maybe.
Too green.
Yeah. So I picked the biggest boat, right? Instead of the little.
It's like unfurl that sail. It's like I don't know what to do.
Right. Because it was actually the top. It was like the default pick, right? The default pick, biggest boat, and then as far as your crew, instead of playing by myself to figure out literally the ropes, right? I just did open crew, so they're teaming me up with online.
Were you on mic?
I was on mic.
Did you talk to him?
Yes. So shout out to I made two friends. Tigrim and Shishio. Guys, thank you for being patient with me. I was a total noob. Like, the game, I'm going to play it again. I don't know if I'm going to do the missions because they gave me a heads up. They said it's going to take about an hour and a half to queue up to do a real mission and then allocate yourselves 2.5 to 3.5 hours to complete the mission.
That's like a 4-hour commitment.
Yeah.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Wow.
And you don't want to leave since the teams are small. The teams are, I think, 4-man crews or something like that.
So it's very detrimental if you leave.
If you abandon your team, you're kind of leaving them. You're kind of leaving them in a really tough spot.
Yeah.
Very much teamwork oriented. I was taken aback at how involved you have to be to sail these things. Did you play the game?
Oh yeah,
bro. You have to catch the wind with your sails. You got to raise the sails, lower the sails, drop anchor, and then somebody's got to steer.
And you gotta change the angle of the masts too, so that it catches. The
Exactly. And my teammates Tigrim and Shishio. Tigrim was a little bit more. He was like, "Dude, help him out," And Shishio was just laughing at me because I kept doing the wrong thing. Like my teammate would spend all this time to turn the anchor, to lift the anchor. And he's like, go help him out, but he's already done. I go in and drop the anchor. He just spent 2 minutes lifting the anchor. But at least he was a good sport about it. But we weren't doing a mission. We were kind of just like gathering gold. We just a little side
like
quest.
free roaming.
Yeah. But it's fun. But being that the teams are so small and there's so much to do, I felt like a huge drag on the team. I constantly kept asking, "Hey guys, how can I be more useful?" Because these guys are running around. They're running around like lifting sails, repairing the hulls because there's water getting into the thing, and we're going through a storm. And I'm just like, I wish I knew what to do. So if you're gonna try the game, guys, pick the small boat and do closed crew so you can figure out yourself. So
are you gonna play this weekend? Maybe people want to jump on and join you.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I might want to play this weekend. I don't have enough. I cannot allocate 4 hours to play the game.
But even free roaming.
But it was fun playing with those. It's super cool. I appreciate the level of realism. They found a really cool balance. With the sails, in the game, they use a very intuitive mechanic where the sails actually catch the wind to drive the vessel. In reality, sails actually work more like an airplane wing. Right, where the wind kind of has to hit it diagonally to go straight. You kind of have to come in at an angle. But in the game, just to make it simple so you can catch the wind, you got to just point the sail where the wind is going.
Would you say it's approachable?
Yeah. If they would have made it that would have been a friggin' sailing simulator, which we don't need that.
Yeah.
It was just the right amount of technical aspects to sailing, and just the right amount of like silliness. Like, when we got too close to the shore and water started coming in and flooding the hull, they're like, "Yo, help out! Grab a bucket!" I go down and grab a bucket, and one bucket cleared out the hull. I was like, "That's not very realistic."
Like, nice. I'm amazing. That was great.
Yeah,
you can clear out the whole hull in like a couple of
buckets. It was a little bit silly, but
yeah.
Was it fun? It was super fun. I'm looking forward to playing it again. I would like to play with you guys.
It's actually something we're going to talk about later.
Crossplay. So
we're going to talk about that later.
I can see some people who take themselves a little bit too seriously getting pissed off. Like, what are you doing, dude? You standing around, or you're doing the wrong thing. Like, I'm glad that they didn't tear my head out when I dropped the anchor after he spent 2 minutes lifting it. He kind of laughed. He just
if you, Crazy One, and Ayachi all were on the same boat, you'd just be screaming at each other, like...
It would depend on the mood. It would depend on one's mood, and that would seriously dictate how much fun we're having.
Generally, the community...
That'd be a good time. You guys jump on that.
From when I was on there, it was like... Everyone's just like there to have a good time.
Yeah.
This is the kind of community it is, like that game was one of I had some of the funnest time in that game just because of all like the funny like shenanigans and stuff.
Yes.
You know, just like everything, just like, you know, jumping on someone else's ship and then like hiding in the ship, like we've done that before. We jump onto someone else's ship and then hide in the ship.
Yeah.
And then just pop out as random moments and like just shoot them a couple of times. It's funny.
There was a Shishio. He kept jumping from the boat to the dock, and I kept trying to follow him. Follow me, mate. I like the lingo that he was using too. So I chase him and I'm following him, and I can't make it. I keep face planting in the water, and he just laughs at me until I figured out he takes off from the gangplank. You know the.
Oh, not from the actual.
Not from the actual boat, but he let me he let me plant so many face plant like 8 times. He wouldn't tell me.
It's like, hey,
and
man,
finally I'm like,
probably.
I'm just gonna watch him do it. And then I realized he's using the runway, and I'm you know, that was funny, man. Thanks, though. I appreciate it. That was a good time. Yeah, it is a good time. It could be as serious as you want it to be, but it could be silly and it could be a good time. And you know, it's a great game. I can definitely see why it's gaining traction. I can definitely see why it's gaining traction, and I'm going to be playing it again. I'm not going to be doing missions, though.
Family game?
I think, yeah. I mean, I would not stop my 10-year-old from playing. It was, if anything, you know,
like
learn how to sail.
You and your wife are like captain, first mate, and your kid's like, oh, I want to play. It's like, okay, jump on. Like,
yeah. You got to use your compass. You gotta lift your sails.
Okay, that's cool.
Dangle your sails. It's fun. It's fun. It's a cartoony simulator sailing. And we didn't even do a combat. We didn't like plunder people yet.
That was like the first thing I did.
That was the first thing you did.
That was like the first thing I did. We seriously be sailing around and stuff like that. This was when the game like first came out, so it really wasn't this much stuff.
Yeah.
And basically the only thing it really was to do like random little quests, like fetch quests, and like mess with people.
Okay.
And so we be sailing around and we see someone out in the distance and we're like, what? Is that a ship? Let's go get him! Immediately we just start beelining to these guys. Like everyone we see, we're just like, all right, we're getting them.
And you can totally tell when the other ship sees you because you're straight, you know, beelining. They're just like, oh crap!
If we start like running away, we'd be like chasing them. It's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is rare. Rare developed that.
Yeah,
right?
that's rare.
Yeah.
That's a talented group, man. That is
Yeah,
talented.
yeah, it really is.
That's all I've got.
You guys want to talk about the headliner, or
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about Apex.
Yeah, let's talk about Apex. Have you jumped on it yet, Sig?
I have not.
You have not tried it yet?
No. I downloaded it and it's installed. I just
You
haven't
tried it?
fired it up yet.
Yeah, I tried it. I tried it.
I've also tried it.
Yeah, you should try it. It's fun.
So
Super cool.
Just a few things we want to let you guys know about this game. So free to play, awesome. Battle Royale, cool. Whatever your feelings are about that. They are following in Fortnite's footsteps though, which is a good thing in my opinion. So they have seasons, they have changes with those seasons. They're gonna have updates. They're gonna have, I think, seasons are gonna last around 3 months. So the first one's gonna begin next month in March, and then after that in June, and then you got September and then December. So seasons 1 through 4. So you'll have plenty of content to play, and there will be cross play very soon, is what Respawn said. They didn't give a date, but they didn't.
Nice.
They didn't say no either.
Very nice.
So basically, only crossplay is going to happen, not cross progression though. There will be no cross progression because first when they developed the game, they were like, "This is such a new system. We can't do this in our game," which is fine.
Yeah.
So look out for crossplay. That'd be awesome. And Respawn actually said this isn't the end for this game doesn't mark the end for Titanfall. They said they're developing more Titanfall related content for later in the year. So if you're bummed out that this game may have killed Titanfall, maybe stay tuned for a little bit later in the year. Maybe Respawn will get your back, maybe with some Titanfall news. But I'd really recommend playing it. Some of the really key features that I liked was that it's classes, so it's basically an app description would be like Overwatch and Blackout put together, and then you have this. That's pretty much the closest comparison I can make to it. What do you think? Do you think that's a good comparison?
Yeah, I'd say like a mixture between like any class hero shooter and any battle royale besides Fortnite because it's kind of its own thing.
But it's really cool because the map is super different. It's really vertical. There's like 2 or 3 levels on top of each other, so you can travel through the map using zip lines, which is really, really cool.
That's actually one hero's ability.
Yeah.
Or the heroes.
Yeah,
the guys.
Yeah, one of the robots.
Yeah.
Yeah, his ult is like he throws a zip line, I think, across the map, so
Yeah.
his other squad teammates can like zip through
Yeah.
to get to different areas.
Okay.
But it's really cool because the squad dynamic is so important. It's really important. Like I know.
Is there healers? Are there healers?
Yeah, there's supports, attackers, and healers.
Gotcha.
So, and then there's 8 legends right now, or 8 characters. And
Okay.
I think 2 are paywalled, which is, whatever. It's free to play.
It is what it is.
Is it fun?
It's fun, man.
It's a good time.
It's fun.
It's a good
It
time.
runs very, very well. It's by far the most well-polished and optimized battle royale game on the market.
It's definitely,
for sure.
yeah. I mean, it definitely AAA quality.
It feels very good.
Yeah.
More polished than Black Ops.
Yes. I would
Okay.
say yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
And the cool thing about this is that some other mechanics that they have that other battle royales don't is in all battle royales, once you die, you're done, period.
Yeah.
In this, if you die, someone can revive you. So they can like pull you back up and be like, yo, dude, like, yo, let me heal you up real quick. Or if you die after that, they can resurrect you by taking your banner card or basically your identity, run up to a respawn station, put that card in. It takes about like 5 seconds, I think. So it's a long time. You're vulnerable.
Okay.
And you can resurrect your ally from the dropship from the beginning of the game.
So
But
you're
they
never
don't-
really out of it. You could still be.
Yeah,
You
but they
can still
don't come in
drop
with
it.
any weapons or armor or anything.
But
So you have to like help them out.
Only if you can loot your teammate's body. If you can
Yeah.
loot your teammate's body and get their banner, then you can go to one of these respawn points and respawn your character.
Yeah.
Or respawn your friend.
I think that mechanic's really cool because it really emphasizes staying together as a squad rather than
Yeah.
running away, being alone.
It's a free game, correct?
Yeah.
So what are the microtransactions?
Yeah.
Just
Yep.
skins, basically.
It's all
Skins.
cosmetic
All-
and the two
Yeah.
characters.
All progression is
you can't
cosmetic.
get.
There's no like.
There's no pay to play.
tree or-
Okay.
No. Just
Cool.
just those 2 characters that are paywalled right now.
And this is EA, correct?
It's Respawn,
Well,
but
published.
it's under EA. Yeah, I
Okay.
guess technically.
Oh, so this is like good news from EA, yes?
Yeah.
I mean,
I guess.
it's hard to be mad at a free to play
Uh-huh.
because it's free and you're not spending your money unless you go spend it.
Right.
On
unless
just skins, cosmetic
And
only.
there's cosmetic
Right,
stuff
right.
and stuff. So
So I mean, this is a far cry for what they've done to NBA
Yeah.
Live and
Yeah.
and
it's
FIFA and all
it's
that.
definitely a step in the right direction.
But this, what I've heard reports that EA had like nothing to do with this game.
Oh,
That Respawn just made it, and they're just like, we're doing this.
Okay,
That's like I've heard reports of like Respawn's like, hey, we want to own this game and we're gonna put it out now.
so
because we
definitely
want it out.
everything goes all the kudos goes to Respawn.
Yeah, not EA.
Yeah.
I guess you can give some kudos to EA for allowing them to make the game. I guess, but it's all for Respawn. They did a really great job, and this has me really excited for the Star Wars game coming out later in the fall
Yeah,
because it's by Respawn.
there you go.
Yeah.
So
The
this is
Vision
awesome.
Matrix says, "Don't worry, EA will mess it up eventually." So
Probably,
Yeah,
probably.
eventually. You know they will.
But yeah, I was watching some really cool gameplay. Like the squad mechanics are super cool because like one guy was pinned down, and one of the other teammates, it's like a phase shifter kind of girl character. She like threw a portal next to the guy that was pinned down, threw him into the portal to get out of harm's way.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of things you can help your teammates out with it. It's
Yeah.
really cool.
It really emphasizes.
I think I'll be
like,
playing
Yeah.
a decent amount of it over the weekend.
I'm surprised. We went into this week expecting Anthem to be like the
the
big
top
game,
dog.
to be the
I mean,
top
there's
dog.
Anthem news, but not this.
Yeah,
is like
but-
way overshadowing.
Oh, and
The strategy that they did with Apex Legends was just brilliant, and the fact that nobody knew about it, it caused more intrigue when it popped. It finally okay.
Well, basically, what they did is instead of having the press cycle and the reviews and stuff, they're like,
Yeah.
hey, let's get influencers out here for a weekend.
Uh-huh.
They'll like talk it up, and then we'll just drop it right after.
That's literally what they did.
Nice.
They completely stealth dropped it.
Yeah, they got 8 million unique players the
Yeah.
first day. Like,
That's beautiful.
It triples the views of Fortnite right now on Twitch. By
Wow.
the way,
Wow.
triples.
Okay.
So
It's the
it's
thing.
on good legs right now.
Let's
That's
go.
the thing right now. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you guys see us playing, join us. We'll be jumping in. It's
Yeah,
gonna be
dude.
really, really fun.
Check out our Discord if you see us on there. Hit us up.
All right. Did you guys want to talk about EA some more? 'Cause-
Thanks for the follow, Miko Lifey.
Thank you, Miko.
Yeah, thank
Oh,
you.
we got 2
you.
followers on this stream. Okay.
Oh,
Let's
nice.
go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
3 more.
Woo!
Let's get 3 more so we hit the goal for this week.
Let's
I got some
go.
T-shirts to give out.
That's
Yeah.
Officially
free
licensed
t-shirts.
Nintendo T-shirts. I do. I got in the car.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Oh, it was like
It's officially licensed.
It was like
Nintendo. Yeah.
Dope. I was gonna say like, I hope
sure?
it's licensed or
No. It's officially licensed. I got the sticker, the hologram sticker, and everything.
Nintendo will find us.
Yeah.
All right. So continuing on with the news, we got moving on to the little bits. That was our headliner talking about Apex Legends.
A lot
So
of EA
we're gonna
news.
talk about there's a ton of EA news, dude, because they just had an earnings call, so they got a whole bunch of details they want to share. But basically,
EA's earnings call.
yeah,
Oh,
it's interesting,
their stock.
dude. It's interesting.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, their stock is crap right now.
Yep.
All right, so Anthem's endgame has been detailed. This is okay. Before I even read this, this is typical EA fashion, dude. Hey, let's put out a demo for a game that barely works, I guess, and then let's just talk about the end game. Let's skip this part that's in between, which is like the game.
That's a red flag.
So they're talking about the end game. It's gonna have 3 difficulty modes, 3 mission types. All these difficulty modes are basically just bullet sponge modes. It's Grandmaster 1, 2, and 3. Basically, on Grandmaster 1, you'll start at like 1,000% health for the enemies, and then it just goes up from there. So kind of boring in my opinion. And then you got strongholds, contracts, and challenges. That's all end game stuff. Basically raids and raids, more raids. That's it. That's all you're gonna get there. And they're actually rolling out an Act 1 update in March, their first DLC drop. And it's going to be free, which is cool, so that's nice. This is called Echoes of Reality, so cool name, I like it. And it's going to come with 3 updates. Evolving World is 1, Stronger Together is the second one, and then the Cataclysm, so basically a world event at the end. What do you guys think about detailing the end game so early? The game launches in 3 weeks. Or no, 2 weeks, I'm sorry. From today.
I think the beta didn't. I watched JD stream, and he played with somebody too on through the stream, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of the comments that I read, aside from JD's stream, was that it was very Destiny-like. I didn't think there was anything new enough in this game that kind of, aside from the fact that you feel like Iron Man flying around.
That's it, dude.
That's the selling point for this game.
That's
There's
the USP, dude.
There's nothing this game is changing or doing differently besides the flying around open world thing.
The thing that EA is latching onto is BioWare, and people are hoping since it's BioWare, there's going to be a good narrative story, being like, oh, I want to go out there and do these things because of this story, but I'm not seeing any hints of that.
Interesting.
Which is why I'm waiting for reviews.
Yeah, from my experience and from what I've been seeing, it's like the story has really taken a back seat.
I mean, we haven't played the game yet.
I haven't played the game, but usually getting this close to the release of a game, especially a BioWare game, they do release something about the story, like some story trailers or anything like that.
Story trailer.
There hasn't really been anything about the story. It looks like the story is more or less just like a cool setting, and then they just leave it at that. And they'll put little tidbits of stuff in there, like this character has a quest, and you get some snippets of information about the setting and about the lore. But whereas the game itself, there's not really a whole lot from what I've seen. I don't know.
So we played the demo.
Yeah.
We both played the demo. I played the demo on PC and PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
Did you play it on just PC?
Just played it on.
What did you play it on?
PlayStation.
PlayStation?
Yeah.
Okay. So playing them both, it definitely felt better on PC, and it was definitely laggier on console. And that was the demo from last week.
Okay.
So they got some optimizing to do.
Okay.
And basically, they're really flying high on this game. EA says they're claiming in their earnings call that they're going to sell 6 million copies in the first 6 weeks.
Wrong game. They might, but not wrong game. Oh, well, the other one's free, sorry.
The other one's free.
They're putting all their resources on this game, and the other one popped. I love it. That's awesome.
But that's what's so weird to me, dude. You have a live service game, specifically live service, to bring people in from launch of the 22nd on, and then you have this Battle Royale game dropping for free on Monday? It's kind of strange, in my opinion.
Yeah, so they're kind of grasping at straws.
Yeah.
But what's even weirder is that Battlefield's own Battle Royale mode comes out in March, and now you have this free one right now in February.
Dude, I think Battlefield is already irrelevant.
I don't understand.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're doing, EA. You're cannibalizing your own properties is what you're doing. You did it with Titanfall. You did it with Titanfall 2. You're doing it again.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna go well.
I don't think it's gonna go well.
It's so funny how that works out, isn't it? Like even Fortnite, like the free part of Fortnite, the battle royale, was the one that popped, and the story mode, the versus versus the aliens.
It's like
the
a horde
zombies.
mode.
The zombies versus the zombies.
Yeah.
That was the paid one, and
Yeah.
like that was what they thought was gonna be the moneymaker, and that ended up just being almost irrelevant.
Was the game they made originally.
Yeah.
That was the game they made. Like when I first started seeing about it on Game Informer, it was like, oh, Fortnite, save the world, and it's a class-based survival battle game.
Yeah.
And then PUBG comes in with this battle royale business, and like, hey, we can do that.
And then they did.
And then they did that, and like now, here we are as top streamer, and
It's funny how things work out like that.
all
it's
that
crazy.
stuff about Ninja. So,
But I think Anthem will do well. I think EA should.
I think so too. I think Anthem will do well with the people who are into looter shooters, people who know what they're buying.
Yeah.
And
Hardcore fans will.
Like fans of looter
Bias.
shooters like Destiny, Warframe, like as a looter shooter, I think it's good. I haven't found anything I find particularly wrong with it, the way it functions as a looter shooter, because that's the baseline of what the game is.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're going in it expecting to be anything like BioWare's previous games, or you're expecting it to have some kind of like interesting narrative, or you're
most likely
expecting
be
like
disappointed.
you're expecting a lot of like really various mission types or like an actual story mode, I think you're going to be disappointed, because I don't know yet. We don't have the game yet. We don't know, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say that the story mode is going to be sparse, kind of like how Destiny was, where you can kind of mainline the story mode in like less than 10 hours, and then you're stuck just repeating the same missions over and over again.
I agree with that, because even in the demo it was like, go talk to this guy, go to this location, hack into the terminal and fight off the enemies. All right, go back to that guy. Oh, I left something at that same location. Do the same thing again.
My feeling is that what you had in the demo is basically what you're going to get in the game.
Yeah,
you're gonna have free roam. You're gonna have a raid or two. You're gonna have more raids, but you still have raid, and then you're gonna have random side quests here and there.
Welcome to the stream, Goatwalk. Goatwalk is asking Division 2 or Anthem.
Division 2.
Probably Division 2.
Division 2.
Probably Division 2. I felt like the Division 1 had actually more of like a
good starting point.
More of a good starting point, more of a story, and more of something different to set it apart. Like the Dark Zone was super cool. Like I love that with the Division.
And if you're interested in Division 2, the private beta is streaming probably right now, actually, somewhere online. So check that out.
Yeah, that was like what, yesterday?
Yeah, it started yesterday.
Yeah.
So private beta access is streaming. So go check that out.
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, try out Division 2. Let us know what you guys think.
Yeah, what do you think?
One of us will try and jump on it. But yeah, my eggs would be in the Division 2 basket as far as which one would prevail as the looter shooter for this year.
I can't.
He said he's heading home to try it this weekend.
Keep up the good work. Thanks for those encouraging words.
Thanks for stopping by, man.
Thanks
for giving us a little question.
Have you guys seen the Division 2 like little short movie on Netflix? Is it Netflix or Amazon? One of them, either.
No.
Amazon, Hulu, or Netflix.
No.
They kind of like exported all of the story elements to like short films or
cool.
like articles.
It's like 20 minutes long. I was expecting to shut it off after
like 5 seconds.
After like 30 seconds, like Uncle Sam. I thought I'm gonna be like, oh, this is gonna be whack. I watched the whole thing.
Interesting.
It was
like as an actual.
It's
it's Tom Clancy. It's an actual interesting story. I mean, about like a post-apocalyptic America, with like this poison and stuff like that, and then you have this basically like this sleeper sect of soldiers, that work for this secret organization called the Division that basically try to help after these kinds of disasters, and most of these people are like volunteers, like citizens and stuff like that. So I think it's super cool concept, and I like
sounds kind of like it could happen.
Yeah, I like how they actually gave all this context for it. The fact that they did it all separate from the actual game itself is something I'm not a huge fan of, because I like when they actually incorporate the narrative into the game. Like, how would you feel like if you were like playing a game and then you know, during a cutscene someone is like mentioning all of this stuff and you have like a little like disclaimer box, like, for more information visit our website. Like, that would be a little annoying. So, but it's still interesting that I appreciate that they're doing that they're actually giving the story out, and there actually is a story that is clearly defined. Whereas Anthem, I haven't seen much of a story, except it's kind of like Avatar, and
which didn't have
Destiny.
any story. So
Avatar had a story.
yeah.
You know, context.
It's like Pocahontas had a story. It's the same shit.
Context is often like undervalued or under.
Yeah, people
It's kind
don't
of
believe
been-
in context.
it's
but
kind of been
it
more of
makes
a trend.
everything.
This morning when we were setting up, we were talking about email inboxes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sent my email inboxes.
You had a
I
gigantic
lost 900 unorganized emails. I was like, yeah, it's fine, dude. If I read them, I just make them green, so I know I read them.
As soon as it turned into a game to see who can organize their email the most, to keep put them in folders and keep their inbox the smallest.
I win now.
Now he got incentivized to have the cleanest inbox, and now he wins.
I win.
But I mean, there's got to be. I mean, there's a formula to that. You just got to incentivize people, be it with a backstory
The setting
or a reason. Just lay down the reason of why you're slogging through this game.
Definitely, the setting is important.
It's amazing how often it's missed,
And
even beyond games.
Yeah.
It's so much more powerful too, because you could take games with a very storied history and twist it, and it can make it so much more of an experience.
Right.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And
Like for an example, when you first played God of War, you're like, I was like, do you know anything about Kratos? I'm like, and you're like, no, and I was like, okay, let me give you a 30-second speech. Like, and some of those scenes are very, very powerful because you know the backstory. But if you didn't, you'd be like, oh, okay.
yeah.
So it's this.
The context
same
is definitely
thing.
important, and it's been kind of this trend nowadays with especially with AAA titles, that the story and the context and stuff is kind of just in the background.
Yeah.
Like you can see it with all the Call of Duty releases of the past, I don't even know, 4 or 5 years. I mean, the story has been slowly diminishing. Whereas back in Call of Duty Modern Warfare days, like, the story was one of the main selling points of the game for most people.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's kind of like the story brings you in, but the multiplayer keeps you there. But the story, like, I have so many friends who would just replay the story on Modern Warfare because it was just so good. And then it's just all of a sudden it was like, yeah, we're just gonna just not do that. We're gonna treat this as it's like an online free-to-play game, but you're paying $60 for it.
But those aren't
like,
sustainable.
What? It's like a story is?
Like, I think having such a good story is why Sony's on top right now. All of Sony's great games are great stories.
Yeah. No,
that's
yeah.
why that's why people go there.
It sets them apart.
Like, that's it.
Because what's the difference between if there's no like good context or story? I mean, what's the difference between playing Blackout or any other battle royale? It's
Right.
It's just like pick one. So who cares? So yeah, I agree. Story is important.
All right. Speaking of stories, we're gonna talk about a really important one on this next one. This Xbox story. We're skipping out some of that other stuff.
We're skipping.
Xbox Live is actually expanding right
Yes.
here to mobile and Switch, as well as it's on PC.
I'm super excited about
Now,
this.
this includes trophies, friends, and clubs. And actually, this story comes to us from GameSpot. I'm going to read a quote by them. This will enable game developers to connect players between iOS, Android, and Switch, in addition to Xbox and any game in the Microsoft Store and Windows PCs. They also added, Xbox Live players are highly engaged and active on Xbox and PC, but now they can take their gaming achievement history, friends list, clubs, and more with them to almost every screen. And you notice how Sony PlayStation is very absent in this statement. They listed everybody else, not Sony. More details about this are going to be appearing in March, because that's when GDC is, and this is where actually the headline came from. It was on a GDC docket, which is Game Developers Conference, and they were like, "Oh, let's pull this headline right now." So, what do you guys think about that? Xbox Live expanding to Switch and iOS.
I am super excited about this. I have PC, Xbox, PlayStation, and Switch, and Switch is non-existent as far as like a live and like a online community goes. But the Xbox, just the UI, the community itself, I just always felt like it's just so active, like, and just all the time, you know. Like, you play an online game, you know, people are talking in game chat, or they're inviting you to their party so that you can, like, play the games together. You know, when I played, like, PlayStation, stuff like that, it's like no one spoke. No one spoke a single word. It's like there wasn't really much of a community there. Whereas Xbox, I mean, people were talking all the time. And not only that, the UI itself is, for Xbox, is so good. It's really amazing. I mean, I could see some parallels from Discord, which itself is also a really good service, and Xbox. And it's like, well, they probably got some of their ideas from the Xbox One, because Xbox works super well. And so the fact that they're like allowing this service to go to Switch, and they're refining it for the mobile phones, for Switch and for PC, so that it works better intertwined with all this stuff, it's super awesome. Because, you know, I'll be able to play Switch or something like that, and I'll be able to hopefully use like a party chat feature through Xbox, and, you know, not have to like bring up Discord on my phone.
That's
so
actually
I can
something
actually
we're gonna talk about later too.
You know, it's ridiculous. So this is I think this is really big news as far as
now, to be clear, this
as far
isn't
as
games or
community
anything. This is the service.
This is the
isn't like
service,
Xbox
yeah.
Gold
This is like-
or anything. This
like,
is just the
this
service.
is like, you know, like party
They can
chat,
tighten
party
that up.
messaging, stuff like that.
I think Microsoft needs to tighten that up. That's a little bit confusing. Saying Xbox Gold or Xbox Live or Xbox.
Well, it's
Game
Xbox Live
Pass.
service. They didn't say Xbox
get-
Live Gold or anything.
I subscribe to 2 of the services, and I don't really have a full grasp yet of what Xbox Live Gold means versus.
Gold lets you play with people online,
Uh,
and the other one is your game subscription for the monthly Game Pass.
but what's just Xbox Live versus Xbox Live Gold?
Xbox Live Gold is the premium version of Xbox Live.
Xbox Live lets you use like your apps like YouTube or streaming service and stuff like that, but you can't play with people online.
But you pay for either, or is one more expensive
You
than the
don't
other?
you don't have to pay for normal Xbox Live service.
Yeah, Xbox Live Gold is the
It
same
used to
thing
be
as like
called
PlayStation
Silver.
Plus.
Xbox Silver would just be like normal, like you have internet access,
Okay.
and you have an account. You have Xbox Live Silver,
Okay.
which lets you use your Netflix and YouTube apps.
Yeah.
And I think you can still communicate with people,
Okay.
but you can't play games with them unless you have Gold.
And then Game Pass is the one that gives you a
And
bunch of games.
Game Pass is the one that gives
Yeah.
you games like as a streaming service.
But then there's some Game Pass games that you need to have Xbox Live Gold to play.
That's probably because they're completely online. Like, you can't really play Sea of Thieves without having Gold because you can't
It's online.
play online.
Gotcha.
And you can't, and if you don't have Sea of Thieves physical,
Yo, it's confusing to me. Just make it one. Just
They're-
either
they
online
might,
or
dude.
not.
They're probably going to.
might
Just
do
make
that,
it one
yeah.
thing. I'm
Might
like,
do
do I
that.
have it? Do I not? And them adding these new games, that's the next one on the punch list. They're really aggressive. I canceled it.
why don't you
because-
read the next read all
yeah.
these games?
Yo, popping off on Xbox Game Pass. Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Walking Dead, complete first season. Pumped BMX Pro, The Blob, Batman, Return to Arkham, Crackdown 3, and Tomb Raider Definitive Edition. They
Those are
have
some solid games.
Yes, these are good games, and what's already there it's a good library. I might re-up. I mean, I had the free trial for like a month or 3 months,
Things like that.
and I'm gonna re-up because it's a good
It's a good service.
for the price. They're not asking much.
That's true.
No, wasn't like 10 or 12 a month or something?
It's
like
$10,
that?
right?
$10.
Yeah,
I think that's worth it. That's
That's
worth it.
definitely worth.
They're very aggressive, and kudos to Microsoft. That was the only thing that's this confusing. Like, they have so many different levels of subscriptions. They need to pare that down, make it simpler, and they need to make adding friends easier. Because my son's trying to add his friends.
I don't think it could be easier.
He's trying to add his friends to play Fortnite, and he can't add them via Xbox or Epic.
Are they?
It doesn't get much easier.
Maybe his friends are on a different console
It depends.
or system.
They're probably misspelling it. I mean, they're 4th graders, so they're probably misspelling it. But
be.
I mean,
If they've played together in the past, they can also search for their past players. You know, or
That'll be
if
easier.
or if they're friends or friends, like if Cade is friends with one of his friends,
you can see him.
You can search through friends of a friend.
Okay.
You know, like it's pretty intuitive, but yeah, you know.
It was intuitive enough for us adults.
Yeah.
So I was able to friend almost everybody that we needed to friend.
I mean, I was like-
but as far as for the grade school level kids, they None of them are, like, hardly any of them are friends because they can't find each other. Or maybe because of, like, an age restriction. Maybe you can't add other kids. I don't know.
You have to set. If you don't remember setting that up, there's no age restriction.
If there's a
Okay.
Yeah, there's. If you the only way I could foresee that happening is if you set it up as a kid account.
Maybe.
There was an issue that I came across with
Or a child
Xbox
account,
years
I guess.
ago. If you want to download a game and you're on Cade's account,
Okay.
if he made his account with his actual birth date,
Okay.
he would not be able to download games that are mature or teen
That's a good thing.
or mature.
Okay.
Just like I when I was like 17 or something like that, that
Yeah.
was an issue for me because I was just like, all right, dude, I want to play this game. Like I'm 17. Like what's one more year?
Oh yeah, I'd throw a fit if I came
Yeah.
home and he's playing GTA
I was-
5.
I was
What are you
pissed,
doing?
yeah.
I'm beating up some hookers, Dad.
Whatever, dude.
That's very funny.
All
All right, you guys want to talk about this Halo thing or this Switch console voice chat?
Switch console voice chats.
All right, we can talk about that.
Let's see. So, Switch console voice chat will become more a common courtesy from Vivox.
Well, yeah, you got to read that a little slower. I should have grammatically fixed that. Will become more common courtesy of Vivox.
Yeah, you need
I
a,
kind of,
you need a,
there's a
you need-
comma there.
You need a comma
There's
there.
you just need a
there,
comma
kiddo.
there.
Yeah. This is why commas are important. Switch console voice chat will become more common, courtesy of Vivox. Vivox has announced that developers can now use the company's software to add console-based voice chat to their games on Nintendo Switch. Titles that support Vivox SDX will allow you to converse with other players by simply plugging a headset into the Switch console, as opposed to going to the mobile app, which is stupid.
Yay.
This system is already live on Fortnite. Additionally, Vivox's software supports cross-platform voice and text communication. This is a quote courtesy of GameSpot. So this is super important because if you've ever played or tried to play with your friends on Switch, you know it's really annoying because you got to literally text them like, "Hey, dude, what's your battle ID so I can plug it into this freaking thing." And then we can play together, and then let me call you up so I can put my headphones on so I can call you up because I can't do it through the Switch.
It's like 30 steps.
It's like
it should be one.
It's the dumbest thing ever. So, and I was super surprised when I actually got the Switch because it was the only like mainstream console that didn't have that kind of a service. So it was like this is important.
This is good news.
This is
I'm
very good
happy
news.
To read this.
I'll be more inclined to play the Switch online if I can actually play and like talk smack to randoms.
Is Cade playing Fortnite on Switch?
No, exclusively. He just plays it on Xbox.
The Xbox is pretty nice.
Yeah.
Does he?
So he likes the controller and he likes playing in the box.
You should download Fortnite on Switch just to see if this works.
Okay.
Just to try it.
Try
Because
playing
I
with
don't. Or
Will do.
Maybe I could do that.
Try playing with them.
Now
now.
you should do it.
Will do.
But yeah, that's really good news. I'm really excited to see that because Nintendo's mobile app sucks. Next thing, do you guys want to talk about this Halo Outpost thing? It's kind of cool.
Halo Outpost
Or
Discovery.
do you guys want to move on to something else? We'll talk about that.
Talk about that.
All right.
That's what an event traveling to various cities in the U.S.
Yeah, so this is super cool. This is a partnership between 343 Industries and Microsoft. I guess, well, yeah.
They're kind of our partners.
Well, they own each other, I guess. So basically, here's a quote here. Again, GameSpot doing some good work here. All right, so this announcement, again, by Microsoft, promises you can explore a Halo ring, see a real-world warthog, play Halo-themed laser tag, dope, take part in VR simulations of Halo adventures, also dope. You can also attend a panel to hear the creators talk about their work building the Halo universe or take part in the community-themed panels revolving around live streaming and cosplay. And finally, there are hundreds of game stations that will let you just kick back and play some Halo. This sounds like a cool event. Now, the cities that are coming to: Orlando, July 5th to the 7th. Very cool. That's
we should go
right around the corner.
We should go to that.
We should. Philadelphia, coming to you guys. July 19th to 21st. Chicago, you got August 2nd to the 4th. Houston, 16th to the 18th of August. And then Anaheim, California, the 30th of August to the 1st of September.
July.
So
July.
check that
That's
out
the
if you're in the
weekend.
area and you're a Halo fan. This sounds
Friday
really
to
cool.
Sunday.
I don't have any pricing information. GameSpot didn't have any. So, I don't know. Check it out if you're interested, I guess.
It's gonna be like $100 a person.
Yeah, it's going to be probably
Really?
expensive.
I think it'd be around 50.
Think so?
50 would be, I think, good. That would be okay.
I'd pay 50.
I would pay 50 for that. Yeah.
I don't like laser tag. I think laser tag is whack.
What about VR simulations, dude?
But it's Halo themed laser tag.
But VR simulations of Halo stuff? That's crazy.
The fucking VR, bro. The battle rifle. You're going around. Yeah, it'd be dope.
That'd be nuts.
I think it'd be cool.
All right, so we got about 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Got 10 minutes and
So I
what,
think, do you guys want
3
to
more
cover some of
pages?
the deals, maybe?
Yeah, we'll probably
Just run through
kind
them.
of run through. We didn't see the DMC5 demo went live yesterday. We already talked about that.
Yeah. So how about you run us through the hardware deals that Xbox is offering right now?
Okay.
And then someone else will run through games, maybe.
All right, so Xbox is having a huge sale right now on their hardware as well as games, but this requires Xbox Live Gold. This is brought to you by IGN.
Thanks, guys.
As far as hardware goes, you get the Xbox One X 1 terabyte console with NBA 2K19 bundle. Is going to be $398, which is super steal.
Just under 4.
Just under 4. The same. Titanfall 2 Ultimate Edition, $450. Just buy that one, man.
Jump on
That's
that.
a no-brainer.
Jump on
Titanfall
that.
2 actually got really good reviews as far as the online and the story go. And then we have the Wolfensteins. So Wolfenstein New Order, $10.
Steal.
Wolfenstein The Old Blood, $10. And Wolfenstein 2, $19.80. All those are very good deals. And Wolfenstein has done pretty well recently.
Yeah, that's
so
really
if you
good.
like first-person shooters, and especially Wolfenstein or Doom-like first-person shooters, I recommend spending the $10 to $20 on some of these bad boys here.
Then we got some really interesting news, actually, coming out of Sea of Thieves, as you just mentioned.
Sea of Thieves, all right.
So, everyone listen to this. This is very cool. I hope more people do this. From February 6th to the 13th, owners of Sea of Thieves or Game Pass subscribers that have Sea of Thieves can invite up to 3 friends to try it for free, even if they don't even own the game.
That's really cool.
So, let's
So hit me up if you want one.
elaborate on this a little bit. Players can send a friend code out to anyone, and it can be redeemed to play with that friend. Now, anyone that redeems that friend code will get a 35% discount on the game if they buy it digitally. This is very cool. Very, very cool. Now, Rare says they're also trying to keep people engaged up until, what does this say here? March 20th, which is the 1-year anniversary of the Sea of Thieves. So there'll be a bunch of content probably dropped then. So this is really good timing right here for Rare to do this promotion. I really like this promotion. This is really cool. I hope more games do this. Now, we got another PSN flash sale to talk about. That's starting today to the 11th. So go check that out. There's some really good games up there. Remember, it's a flash sale, so it ends on the 11th. And the Steam Lunar Sale, also available until the 11th. There's some really good prices there. Assassin's Creed Odyssey's half off. Hitman 2's half off.
Insurgency Sandstorm.
That's where he got it.
That's why I got it.
So really check that out.
Get it.
And
let's
that's
see.
pretty much
Yeah, that's basically it.
all the good deals. But we got some 2 juicy rumors to tell you guys about.
Oh, before I forget, we tried out
Derail Part
Amazon
1, Derail
New
Part
World. We can't really talk about it, but I guess can you say you're liking it or you're not
I
liking it?
don't
Can
know.
we say that?
I don't know.
We're not giving any details.
I can say that
We have played it.
I played it for about an hour and a half, and it was cool.
It was cool.
That's
All
it.
right.
That's it.
That's all you get.
That's it.
I
Because
don't
we're
want.
legally binded.
I don't want Amazon to come bust my ass, dude.
Yeah, I don't.
I can't win a legal dispute against Amazon.
No
so.
one can.
So Amazon, if you're listening, I didn't say anything.
But it was cool.
It was interesting.
Okay.
It was cool.
We
I
have
can see
thoughts
a lot
on
of
it. That's
people.
it.
I can see a lot of people really getting into it. I can see
Awesome.
it being very popular amongst a certain crowd. That's
Awesome.
literally all I'm gonna say.
All right, now 2 rumors to bring you guys here. PS5 to launch before the next Xbox on holiday 2019 or the latest March 2020.
Ooh,
They're scared, man.
At a big old price
Scared.
tag
They're scared.
of $400.
They're scared,
that's
man.
surprisingly more affordable than I was gonna.
Now, along with this rumor, I have another rumor. This one I find much less plausible, but it could happen. Sony may be taking a page out of Microsoft's book on launching multiple consoles at launch with the PS5. You might get different tiers, just like Xbox is doing with Anaconda and Scarlet. You might get different tiers of PS5s. What do you think? What do you guys think about those rumors? Do you think there's any credence to them?
Yes.
Yeah, I can definitely see the PS5 to launch prior or before Xbox as being totally legitimate. I mean, because
do you think this early though? Holiday 2019?
It's a preemptive response.
They're trying to they're trying to do what they can. It feels like
So you think they're scared?
I think it's directly. This is directly related to the news that we've been dropping about the new Xbox.
Just all the new things that Xbox has been doing in general.
This is like they hit it right in the heart. Hey, we're going to release before them. In addition to that, we're going to have multiple consoles too.
Do you think that would derail Xbox's plans?
I don't think so.
No.
I think Xbox knows that they have a good plan right now, and then this is just Sony trying to get a little bit ahead of the game. But
I think that's smart though on Sony's part.
Yeah, but it's like I still feel like the people who are waiting for the Xbox, the new Xbox console, would still get the Xbox consoles regardless of whether or not Sony released theirs first.
So do you think this will have any impact on Xbox?
Like
do you think maybe
like
this
on
will
sales?
force them to be like, oh man, we gotta oh crap, PlayStation 5's out. Let's do something. Let's figure something out. Or do you think they'll just stay with their plan, chill?
We might see a more hasty release of one of the consoles. Maybe one of the lower priority
Like
consoles.
the streaming box, maybe?
Yeah, maybe we'll see a more hasty release of one of those consoles. But I feel like the main console, I feel like they need to give it the time that it's due. Make sure it has the full development cycle that it's already planned. Don't try to rush it out to beat Sony to the race, because that's what Sony wants, I feel like.
Yeah.
Sony wants them to rush it. And I feel like and Xbox has been on a real roll recently, with their services and trying to bring the gaming community
crossplay.
They're
getting all that goodwill,
bringing everybody together in
be fans of
general.
us.
And now it's like everyone knows Xbox is it's your friendly neighborhood gaming company who's trying to bring the community together, and there's Sony. They're like the single player titans who hate playing with others. So it's like I feel like Xbox has been doing some really good moves recently.
Do you think this release window? Do you think this is true? Would you bet money on this release window?
Yes.
So Sig says yes. I would not. I think it's too early. I think it's just a little too early.
I think I would very much believe 2020. Holiday 2019, I don't think so. I think around spring 2020, maybe summer 2020. I could see that. I could see that. But where it says holiday 2019 as the earliest, I would be super surprised if we got
surprised.
Later on this year.
I'd be very surprised if it was.
Because I feel like there isn't even very many set releases for the next generation.
But maybe that's why it's not. Maybe that's why those releases aren't set. Can you imagine if Death Stranding and The Last of Us came out in the latter half of 2019? That would end PS5. Holy shit, dude! And they're all cross-generational titles. That would be crazy. Which is what I think Sony might do. I think Sony's trying to get out there first and get everyone to buy a system first. Because if you bought a PlayStation already and then the new Xbox comes out, how inclined are you to spend another $500 to buy a system?
Not very.
Pretty inclined.
Especially if PS5 launches with all these dope-ass single-player games they've been doing.
Pretty inclined, actually.
What are you going to do as Xbox? How are you going to take them? How are you going to take the market back if they launch before you?
They're definitely dropping.
I'm about to buy them both, man.
They're definitely dropping on the holidays.
I'm about to buy them both.
What would you do if you were Phil Spencer and head of Xbox right now, saying just oh man, they got, because PlayStation's got games.
You'd one up them.
What do?
You release one of the lighter units even earlier than the holiday.
Earlier than holiday 2019?
Yeah.
So the summer? This summer?
No.
I don't know, man. I feel like
October, November, something like that.
I don't know
how
much that would really help them, because the thing that would really set apart Sony, this would be their mainstream console that they would release, and it would come with the next generation games that you can only play on this new console.
Yeah.
No, Eric was asking about what would be Xbox's response to this.
Yeah, what would you do?
That's what I'm saying. I say that Xbox, I mean, I don't know if they would really be able to compete with their streaming console alone, because the streaming console would only really be useful to play the games that people already play.
Right.
And there's nothing really I just can't see so many people rushing to go buy this new streaming console where you can already play it on like, you know, your Xbox or some of the games you can even play on your computer. You know, where
I don't think it's gonna be like that.
People would buy the PS5 so they can play Last of Us, so they can play Bloodborne 2 or whatever the hell comes out. So, I think if they wanted to directly compete with it, they would have to release, you know, their big boy console with one of their main, like,
You would have to have a game
one of
franchise
their
with it.
one of their flagship titles,
Like Halo, Gears,
Gears
Fable,
or Halo.
something.
Yeah,
something.
exactly. Because I feel like if they don't do it, it would just be like, you're like, oh my god, everyone's like, the PS5 release. Oh yeah, the streaming console came out too. All right, well, I mean, I don't care. So I feel like it would not be much of a direct competition. But, you know, that's just my opinion. It's totally possible that it would be a nice competing factor against Sony.
Well, I mean, if I don't think it's going to be like that. I think the next gen Xbox is not going to be backwards compatible with Xbox One.
What?
I don't think it's going to be.
That would be the worst move they could make.
It just feels like
that would be the literal. That would be like putting a shotgun in your mouth.
I don't think so.
I disagree because they've been supporting backwards compatibility.
Yeah, with
more,
Game Pass especially.
with more recently.
But not on this one, because this one is such a changing of the whole. It feels like they're going in a whole nother direction.
So you think?
Why?
Okay, so let me get this straight. You think Xbox? Let's call it Anaconda because that's the nickname.
Sure.
You think
Xbox 2?
Xbox 2. You think
Okay.
Xbox 2 games are not going to be playable on Xbox One?
I don't think so. I think they may have intended it, but now that it's an arms race to be first to market on the next gen, due to this response, it'd be easy for them to say no, you have to buy the streaming box. And although the streaming box would be underpowered compared to the big boy ones, but at least you could play the next gen and buy it now, lock it in now.
I think they would lose immediately if they did that.
Think so?
Yeah.
Yes, I think people would immediately hate Xbox.
Yeah, because they didn't do that with the Xbox One and the PS4. They Destiny was one of the main releases with the Xbox One, and you could still get Destiny on your Xbox 360.
Yeah.
And so
it's interesting. I don't know why.
It didn't really hurt. It didn't really hurt the console
Do you think
wars at all.
PS5 will be backwards compatible with PS4?
Yes, because they filed a patent. Remember that we looked at it.
Just because they filed the patent doesn't mean they're going to do it.
Oh yeah, they might have filed a patent to prevent people from doing it. That's true. They could be squatting on the patent.
I would see Sony doing that more than I would see Xbox doing that. I feel like Xbox has kind of loosened up when it comes to, you know, backwards compatibility or crossplay and stuff like that, whereas Sony is still kind of like, you know, the tight sphincter of the gaming world. So
okay.
But I mean,
I hope I'm wrong.
There's validity in what you're saying.
Wrong.
There's validity in what you're saying, and I can see, you know, that as being a possibility.
We'll see. Time will tell.
We'll see, and you'll hear it here.
Yep, we will report it as soon as it drops, pretty much. So you guys want to go to lunch or? Because it's 12 something.
Yeah, it's kind of past time, I guess.
12:05.
Do you want to know about the Let's Argue thing at all now?
We can drop it, sure. All right, guys. A little thing here. In your opinion, is it better to have a more focused, smaller experience, or a more of a live service model for games? So,
Quick answer.
yes.
Yes. Both, right?
No, I like focused, smaller experiences.
I would rather have that.
I feel like it's more thoughtful and it's not as lazy and money grabby.
What do you think, Sig?
I agree.
Yeah?
All right, quick. That's a quick argue this week.
Good job, guys. We all agree on something.
All right, we
Hold
finally
on, one
agree
thing.
on something.
I think there's a cool segment that we can add to the show, and since we come up with a punch list throughout the week, right? What if, like, during the show we go to Reddit and look at the subreddit for video game news and just pick the latest news
And just talk about
talk about that real quick. All right. So there was something interesting.
Okay. I'm down for that. That's a cool
Yeah,
idea.
that's a cool idea. There was something I just popped in, and it said that Pennsylvania is going to start charging a violent video game tax.
What? All right, before we trash the crap out of that, let's read further.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
context.
Context. We were talking about context earlier.
It's by GameSpot.
Yeah, lawmakers from Pennsylvania have. I'm reading from GameSpot, guys. Lawmakers from Pennsylvania have put forth a bill that proposes a 10% excise tax on violent video games.
Dude. Okay, keep reading.
House Bill 109 seeks to impose the so-called quote-unquote sin tax on games sold at retail that are rated by the ESRB as M for mature or adults only.
No, there's no adult-only game ever in existence because that you won't sell anything.
What do you guys think about that?
I think it's dumb.
Think it's dumb?
Yep.
That's asinine. What?
That's like okay.
That'd be in addition to the sales tax.
What's the point of doing that?
Let's
Just
take
to
that.
make money from violent video games?
Let's take that and apply it to the film industry now.
Right.
Now, say there's a tax on every rated R movie.
Right.
Is that okay?
That's not okay.
That's not okay.
That's a good one, Captain.
So why would it be okay with video
Captain
games?
Top Hat.
It ain't. It ain't okay.
You're right. That's
Yeah.
a good one.
Are you gonna get a fine every time you listen to an explicit song?
If I was a
on the
developer,
radio?
I'd be like, all right, I'm just not gonna ship in Pennsylvania. Then fuck you.
Yeah.
I don't need you. I don't need your state.
Dude,
Crazy, right?
That's dumb.
Can't you just buy games online?
Is that how it read? I think I agree with you. I think that's what it says. That's how it read.
Wait, even digitally?
Retail. Well, just buy your games online, dude. Fuck those guys.
So they're putting brick and mortars even more out of business and
if they somehow find you from that, VPN to Florida and then buy it online.
Yeah, dude, like that's dumb. This
is what happens when like old ass dudes in their 60s try to make laws for things they don't understand.
So when you're creating a law like that or something that's a blanket statement, you can't just apply it to one section of media. You have to be like, let's apply this to another section.
Isn't that
and
crazy?
see if it
All
works.
content.
Does this work here?
Isn't that crazy that they isolated video games and not movies?
This has been
movies are
insanely violent, dude.
This has been a thing for a long time. There's always been like some kind of lawmakers or some influencer trying to say that violence in video games causes violence in youth and it's bad and stuff like that. And there's been research. The jig is up. There's no effect. Get over it. That's it.
The jig is up.
The jig is up.
On that note, while we do the closing,
there's no positive correlation.
I'll play some Will
If
Smith.
you believe that,
it.
you need to do a little research because you're dumb.
Dude, that is I'm like
fuck you,
in shock right now almost. Like that's so stupid.
Yeah, screw Pennsylvania.
Oh man, that is dumb.
You want to take us home, Captain?
Can we do this?
Yeah, we can.
Okay, yeah,
Sure, why not?
Sure, why not? We don't have enough people. Anyways, guys, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching our podcast. Y'all know who we are. We are FPS Guys. Be sure to check us out on our website right there in the banner. Right there. Check us out on YouTube. Check us out on Twitch. Check us out on Discord.
We'll be playing Apex Legends. Check us out.
Pop in, say hello, follow us on social medias, hit those like buttons. Y'all know what to do.
See you next week.
And we'll see you next week after I get Metro.
Look forward to it.
Have a great weekend, guys.
Peace.
How did it go? Play games? Is that what you
Play
said?
games.
Yes,
Yep.
play games.
Play games.
Play games. And do drugs moderately.